like a symbol. Like all the forest is like a symbol. I mean, the forest is nothing that can be rescued by itself. The economy is like fucked up, totally, and everyone knows. It was like this year, there was no rain from June on, and in July it was autumn. Like all leaves were dry and fell down, colorful, in July. Like, it's just the economy is done. But the forest itself still is a symbol. So yeah.
So for me it was like I only watched what is going on in the Hambacher forest, in the Hambacher Wald, with my television and PC for years. So it seemed more to be a project to me from one group that I don't belong to. And I always had this feeling of I want to see what they're doing, and without media, so to go there and to see it. And kind of didn't dare. So for me it was like, I'm not prepared to do this, I'm not prepared to be in the forest, and kind of they are doing it, so I'm not needed, they will do it. And then this year when it came to this point of, oh no, they're gonna take it all off and they will destroy everything, I was like, okay, now I'm going to go there. So
we try to occupy the trees, because like now they nearly put down everything, and I think there's not really an occupation, and maybe few things are going on, but now it's like dead and they killed everything, like the occupations, and we try to do it a second time and go up again and keep this thing going on.
How can we live in a different way? How can we produce in a different way, consume in a different way, and organize in society and economy in a different way? But I don't have the magic answer, but there's a lot of stories and there's a lot of knowledge among all of us, but there's a lot of things people are doing, have been doing, and are starting right now.
It started like a small movement, like I guess every movement starts, and now it's like a thing that is in every media and every day. It doesn't matter where you look, it's on the front page of every newspaper. So I think, it's already a big movement, and I hope that it will grow much more in the future.
I had kind of 1 hour of really, really intimate processes in my body, like really being able to breathe, really calm and connected to what's surrounding. So I think I had this moment what people speak of, this magic thing that this forest does to you. And I was like, oh, everybody's talking about this forest and it's doing something, and I was like, okay, let's see. So people tell you, but maybe it's just a forest. And then I had exactly what I was not prepared for, to just feel pure again. So it was quite amazing to have this absolute, I'm not sure the word in English, just to know that something happened and that I'm here because it's right, and that I know that I would like to live in another surrounding, not in this city.
I hope that it will be a big struggle in future, and I think it will be, because like now you can see that there are thousands of people coming, and I think a lot of people didn't expect that a few years ago.
Most of the time in winter, because there were just few people, and then the animals are more closer. And somehow it's like how you call wild porks? The boar, the babies of the boar. I mean, they are born there together with us, so they never knew different. And it's like in winter or in later, the babies, I don't know what it's called in English, maybe it's bad, are running around and they are hiding or not, and the mother says, look, there is a human, go away, go away. And it's always same, every winter is same, like the babies are there and just look at you, think, okay, it's a human, mother says go away, turning around, no human.
True story. Endlich wird wieder getreten. Du hast doch schon vergessen, wie das geht, ne? Wenn es dir begegnet, macht dich das Verlegen. Kein Hete, Petete, auch WTG Fete. Nee. Nur Schrott und Rumgebrülle, jedes Wochenende rufen wir eine neue Republik aus. Schreien ins Mikrofon und pumpen die Beats laut. Wer ist dieser Gott? Es geschehe unser Wille. Endlich wird wieder getreten. Du hast doch schon vergessen, wie das geht, ne? Wenn es dir begegnet, macht dich das Elend verlegen. Keine Hete, Petete, auf WTG Fete. Nee. Nur Schrott und Rumgebrülle, jedes Wochenende rufen wir eine neue Republik aus. Schreien ins Mikrofon und pumpen die Beats laut. Wer ist dieser Gott? Es geschehe unser Wille. Und um nicht deinesgleichen zu begegnen, häng ich lieber auf geilen schwulen Fegen, statt mir Deutschrap live zu geben. Oder ich bleibe zu Hause kleben, um alleine einzuheben und ein paar Reime aufzunehmen. Und um dir nicht nur Schweigen zu entgegnen, noch ne Line gelegt und dann rein in das Näschen. Mein Weinkelch ist leer, man reiche mir den nächsten. Für den Wolf im Faulpelz bleibst du ein Schäfchen.
Yeah, like when, like after an eviction and something is still there, like yeah, like in my last experience, yeah, then at night when it gets silently, then yeah, people coming, and you don't get it that whoa, okay, now everything's over, and you all the time you are alone because the police checked all the area, but then it's over and a lot of people are there because they were waiting still, and there's so much people, and then yeah, we want to do okay now, and yeah, then maybe at night or the next day and morning, yeah, building fast new infrastructure.
But especially once RWE and the cops start to actually clear the forest at the edge, that will be a new level of the fight. One way to fight back against the unfair tactics and the police repression we face here, we are only normal human beings. We don't have like battle armor or the heavy equipment the cops use, and we have to fight back with our weapons, and with this we make their job a little bit harder, and we protect us so we can fight, keep fighting without losing the ability to take part in a meaningful way.
So I took a little tree like this, and then I locked myself. And I stood there, and the police said, "You better move away. This is now security. We need space for big machine." I said, "I can't move. I'm locked." They said, "Whoa, shit." It was a young guy, and he went to his chef, and he said, "Look at this one." So they surrounded me and were talking to me. I said, "We're gonna get a scissor. We're gonna cut you. It goes very, very fast." And I said, "Yeah, I know, but I just want to show a symbol." They said, "Okay, now you're not allowed to come back for 24 hours. But we don't have a car to take you out to the train station, so you walk to the end and say, 'I leave now,' at the last police car." I said, "No, I don't want to do this." So I walked there, and suddenly I just back into the force. So I could ask around if they need my help, be active kind of, and try to find a group where I would fit in. But I didn't find one. I put my tent at a place where nobody lives. I was the only one, but I could always, with my binoculars, always see police movement and everything, and they couldn't see me. And I felt really nice.
we're standing just behind, like, and trying to tell these babies, yeah, I like you, and we all, no problem, but we all know in summer there are more people, so go, go, leave, I'm human. I know you don't feel it, but I'm bad. Yeah, kind of, like, yeah, it's a lot of animals. Like, before it was a big forest, so a lot of animals live in that, and now it's just small piece. And all the animals of all the forest were living now are in this small tiny piece, so there are a lot of them, like hundreds of these boars. Yeah, it's very beautiful.
RWE Sarge, they want to evict like all tree houses and occupations. Since the last week, they didn't get it, so you can feel it also that they sometimes, normally they evict one tree house and in one day. Now they 2 or 3 points at one day at the same time, and yeah, you feel they're under like in stress. Yeah, but we've got so much people who want to do, also they never did, but yeah, so much people, they've got energy, and yeah, they help here a bit, and we get it to build new houses, we get it to build new barricades so fast, so good, that yeah, the police and security can't, they're not faster than us.
La nostra società è quella società che si è definita in un lungo periodo, proprio come la società espressa dalla modernità e dal capitalismo, nella creazione di gerarchie. In queste gerarchie erano tutte gerarchie che producevano una forma di esclusione. È chiaro che all'apice di queste gerarchie c'è il modello patriarcale, il maschio bianco occidentale, tendenzialmente cristiano, eterosessuale, che definisce delle norme, e queste norme sono tutte norme che tendono ad escludere tutte le altre forme, e ovviamente la separazione del tutto inventata, del tutto culturale tra esseri umani e natura è l'idea che esista una specie depositaria dei destini del pianeta che può riorganizzare la vita in funzione alle proprie esigenze, è tutta dentro quella storia.
Ah! Ihr seid peinlich! Das ist einfach traurig! Was soll man dazu sagen? Das ist einfach... dass ihr kein Hirn habt! Ist doch krank! Ist einfach krank! Ja, da mit der Kamera, verpiss dich!
Difendere il vivente o costruire forme di politica basate sul vivente significa difendere questo, significa riarticolare la società, la vita in maniera completamente diversa, non ha nulla a che vedere con la forma più reazionaria prodotta dalla cultura europea e occidentale negli ultimi secoli, è tutt'altro. Non riguarda la vita individuale ma riguarda la vita collettiva, non riguarda principi etici da applicare per contrastare la libertà individuale, ma riguarda la ricerca di una libertà collettiva che si realizza anche nella difesa e nella possibilità che l'intero sistema possa continuare a sopravvivere. La foresta di Hambach si è subito riferita come esperienza all'esperienza dell'ESAD, l'esperienza di Notre-Dame-des-Landes, l'idea che esistano zone da difendere, zone per le quali in realtà si può essere disposti a rischiare tutto, e c'è chi ha rischiato e perso tutto.
Polizei! Wow! Peinlich! Deutsche Polizei! Baby peinlich! Wow! Ey, das ist einfach krank, dass ihr das in euren Schädel nicht reinkriegt!
Baumhäuser ranzubauen. Das macht in irgendeiner Welt Sinn, weil du musst halt Baumhäuser räumen, also brauchst du einen Weg dahin mit den Fahrzeugen, also musst du die Bäume wegmachen. Aber es wurden halt Gebiete...
Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand gegen die Braunkohle hier im Land. Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand gegen die Braunkohle hier im Land. Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand gegen die Braunkohle hier im Land. Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand gegen die Braunkohle hier im Land. Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand gegen die Braunkohle hier im Land. Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand gegen die Braunkohle hier im Land. Auf die Barrikaden, wehrt euch, leistet Widerstand. Stopp die Maschine, 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 stopp die
Of course, the forest does not speak. and the locals do not like us because the RWE pays for everything here. They do not only have the only jobs, they also give money to schools and public libraries and stuff. So they infiltrate, and there is this what do you call it? This hand that feeds a little bit and takes a lot, and you see that grabbing in society, in the fabric of where people live, and people are desperate for a job here because it's there are not many young people, and most of the industry in this area is focused on mining, steel, these old school jobs, hard labor, little pay, and so it's the last thing people need is to lose their job, and the RWE is using that against us. But there are not many people living around the forest because the RWE bought out 6 villages and they have been eaten by the mine. The mine is 400 meters deep. I call it the monster. We call it Mordor because it's like Lord of the Rings, where you literally do not simply walk into Mordor. And of course we're fighting for a little bit of forest. Because this is only 10% of what was once. There was 90% more. And so all the endangered animals only now live in this small part. There are animals that only live in this forest. The RWE said, oh, we're gonna catch them and move them to another forest. People buy that, like, some animals, well, let's talk facts, not opinions, but that is what they said. But like the bat, the Bechstein bat that lives here, cannot breed when they are moved, so they die. And we also see, like, because the RWE puts plastic over the holes, you see little scratches.
Peaceful, what are you? We are peaceful, what are you? Peaceful, what are you?
Nochmals eine Durchsage der Polizei an die Personen auf den Gleisen. Wir fordern Sie erneut auf, sich den Versammlungsteilnehmern auf den kooperierten Aufzugweg anzuschließen. Der Aufzug wird sich gleich in der Bewegung setzen wollen und wird so lange noch aufgehalten, bis Sie sich diesem Aufzug angeschlossen haben.
Gewalt kommt immer von denselben. Wasserblock mit weißen Helmen. Gewalt kommt immer von denselben. Wasserblock mit weißen Helmen. Don't be the people. Join the people.
You see, like, people are destroying private property fences, which is also something in the Appalachian Mountains or in the Rhineland region. People want to have back their land, their community land. The Hambach Forest had been a common for years, for hundreds of years, and now it's private property of the company. We see people living together in houses, so it's not the cities which are the problem, but it's the way how people use it, how people live in it. We see a very busy beehive. It's more about west. We see vertical gardening, we see community-supported agriculture, solar power, isolation. There's also somebody who's doing the dishes. And we find people who are quite busy with trying to get clean water back, to grow their own food. That's the point where we can look in the first chapter or in the last chapter. The last chapter is about regeneration, about using land, using resources in a different way. So when we go away from this linear growth system, we find, like I said at the beginning, people working with the land, using resources, but maybe keeping the soil fertile, the ecosystem healthy. This is all about, in contrast to the middle, it's not about the linear thinking, but thinking in cycles. So nature is organized in cycles.
If we stop these 3 mines, we stop about 4. There are 2 other mines close by. Then we stop about 14% of Germany's emissions.
The forest is a very, very dear part to many people that are on the camp, and it is a very integral part to our climate. The forest itself is not big enough to be a big player on the global scale, but the symbolism it has developed and the meaning, being right next to Europe's biggest coal mine, is the strongest part of this forest. And the people that live here and fight for the forest, that show the alternative ways how this life could go, how we could live together in harmony or in solidarity for a better climate, for a better world, for a more fair world. I don't think we are going to let the cops take this away, especially since the cops are not really they're not the ones making the decision.
We live on the tree houses before, like, I don't know, 5 years maybe, something like that. But I mean, we're saying, yeah, we live there, okay, like, sometimes living there, sometimes somewhere else, but it was like a home base, like a home where you can go when things are shit, or when you need some time to relax, to calm down. And the last years it was different. Yeah, how to say family, like people living there for a long time, we know each other, and same but different in our society. Like, there are problems, there are, yeah, sometimes it's good, sometimes not. We're all family there.
So I knew that before, but here my heart began to know it as well. It was not about words, it was about the trees and the ground, telling my body, it's okay what your heart wants, stay. And then I left again, came back the next day, left again, came back 3 days after, and every time I left this forest I was like, oh God, they are killing it, it's not cool, I have to stay. So last week I came on Sunday again and just wanted to visit, and asked one tree that I fell friend with 1 week or 2 weeks before, and asked him, you, the trees, you know what's happening, you see all these trees getting cut down, one person died, so please help me, tell me what we people, we don't know what we should do, so please tell me. And the only thing I could hear was like, stay.
I movimenti per la giustizia ambientale, il movimento femminista, il movimento antispecista stanno cercando di ricomporre in qualche modo all'interno della critica al capitalismo una alternativa che ha precedenti storici solo nelle grandi esperienze di lotta del movimento operaio, per esempio, quell'alternativa in cui ricostruire il mondo significa anche proporre a chi partecipa o a chi si avvicina letture originali e modalità di organizzazione della propria vita diverse, attenzione alla quotidianità in un'ottica squisitamente politica.
Myself, for example, I lived in the tree pod for 5 days or something before they catched us, and yes, it's an interesting experience, and the connection to the place where you live in, from day by day, is getting stronger and stronger, because she was always telling me, you know, it's like a family here, it's like my home here. And a lot of people inside the forest, they risk their jobs, they risk their lives, they risk everything they have just to be part of the struggle, just to be part of the forest family, actually. I have the feeling a lot of intentions, or a lot of, how you say, like struggles, like the anti-capitalism, sexism, veganism, that kind of stuff, are connecting over there and meeting, and each one
everyone has his own intention why he's here, and I think that might be anti-capitalism, that might be anti-sexism, that might be, I don't know, whatever, or even everything together, you know.
Tries to work without hierarchies. Everybody does what he or she wants to do because they want to do it, because they want to help, because they want to be part of the movement, they want to achieve an aim together. And here people work the whole day, they cook the whole day, and they love it because they see a reason for it, they see a meaning in it. And this made me personally also realize that the problem is not work. It's about why you do it and for what you do it. And then you believe in that it will help us to live a better life together. There is a lot of structures about patriarchy everywhere. It is a huge difference if you're male or female, or if you by yourself don't define yourself in one of these gender roles. I see a big difference here.
75% of Germans don't want this forest to be cut down. They don't want police to work here, and they don't want RWE to continue getting coal out of the ground out of here. And it's very anti-democratic to still try to evict people out of here and destroy this wonderful, beautiful community.
Okay, so now we're walking here, and then we try finally to go to Lorient. So the main problem will be this big street, because here will be police all the time. Yeah, so our main aim is to get here to Lorient, and now we try to find a way through the forest, because here's police around us everywhere. So now we're happy to get into the forest.
It's a strategy to prevent repression. So once I give my name, I'm vulnerable to all kinds of lawsuits and legal activities the cops could bring against me, as long as they don't have a name and an address. All the same legal structures hold, but they don't have a person to send them to, so it doesn't hit me directly. We have especially equipped climbing harnesses that we use for going up and down ropes, for walking between trees, and to build structures up in the trees. For that we have exactly a few specific equipments on our belt, on our harnesses, that are designed to be cheap and easy replaceable, because when we do some action climbing and the cops come and maybe arrest people, they don't always respect private property, so they destroy the harnesses or don't give them back at all.
I got this name when I almost before I get evicted from a treehouse, because I can climb with a belt, but I love it to climb without, like, free. There was someone who said, "Oh god damn, you're climbing pretty fast, like lost." Yeah, no, I'm Legolas. That was for me pretty confident. Yeah.
Oh, jetzt leuchtet er wieder in unsere Kamera. Schau mal, der leuchtet hier. Hey, wir haben uns in unser Gesicht gefilmt und dafür Strobo. 1, 2, 1, fight! Ende Gelände, haben Liebe! Hallo! Ja, danke, super, machst du gut.
When the cops try to identify a person, that specific person really hasn't much options. You're in their hands, but I don't say anything. They need to do their work on their own. I won't help them in any way. And all my friends and family know that I'm here anonymous, and they won't give me away. So they have a really tough time trying to figure out who I really am.
Ambi! Ambi! Ambi, Ambi, Ambi! Woo!
Geceler çatlasın, gece şafaklar tutulsun, bizim olsun alem teremez. Geceler çatlasın, gece şafaklar tutulsun, bizim olsun orman yemez.
I think this fight is only at the beginning phase now. The cops just destroyed the last structures we have been living in for almost 5 years now, and we are heavily fighting to get some new structures up into the trees where the cops don't look. But those are always short-term solutions.
Yeah, we were there before, just few people, and living there for, I don't know, quite a lot of time. And the last days we were 2 people up there, evicted by 20 cops. Quite funny. A special force was there as well. It's just crazy. Coming up 2 cranes to 4 cranes total, with 20 climbing cops or special force, whatever, for 2 people drinking coffee, thinking, okay, what's up? You like tea? Crazy.